Hi guys, it's Rach. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a chatty one, a little bit of an update, particularly on the 52-week saving challenge, which I did a video on about this time last year, as well as just some goals for 2015, because I did ask you guys what videos you wanted to see coming up on my channel, and quite a few of you mentioned 2015 goals. It wasn't something that I thought about that much, but I thought it was a good tie-in to this video. So for those of you who may be newer to my channel, I did a video talking about saving up for anything really, and it was using the 52-week saving challenge, which is basically where each week you put away a bit of money that coincides with that particular week of the year, and then by the end of the year you've saved up about just under $1,400, I believe, and then you can use that for whatever you want. And for me, I talked about trying to save up for a designer handbag, and I was putting away money on top of my other savings specifically to spend money on a bag, purely because I personally feel guilty or just struggle to spend that much money on an object, whether it be shoes or a handbag or even like a coat or something like that. To me, that's a lot of money, and it was something that I didn't want to just spend willy-nilly. So I had planned on doing some updates throughout the year, and then somehow time just got away from me, and I never ended up really talking much more about it, other than a few random people had asked me and I kind of had responded to a few questions about it. Overall, it wasn't a complete fail, but I didn't follow it the way that I probably should have, and there was a few things that I kind of learnt from that. Was that it was hard to keep track of what week it was, and if you were going to follow that, then I would recommend printing out the little thing. I think I actually had linked it in that video, so if I've still got that, I'll put it in the description box below in case any of you guys want to do it. But it's basically a table that said what week it was, the money that you should put away obviously, and then how much you should have like as a cumulative total each week. And I found that because they were sort of random little amounts and I don't get cash out a lot, that was a little bit difficult to remember. Okay, this week I'm putting in $1, a certain week I'm going to put in $26, another week I'm going to put in $45, as like you kind of went along. So some people had suggested last year putting away, I think it was $50 every second week, and that kind of worked out to be the same amount at the end, or something like that. And that to me probably makes sense and is a little bit easier to do, because it's something that, okay, you can get a $50 note out specifically and put it away, or I think another good idea would be to maybe transfer the money if you're into internet banking and things like that. Maybe if you have a separate account, and to just have to transfer the money, and you could even set it up to do it manually, and that way you don't have to do it yourself, because something might come up and you forget, or like me, I had the money and I put it in my desk drawer at work because I thought I'd be less likely to grab it if it was at home. I might see it and want to use it. However, I found that because it was there, and I would sometimes put in a bit extra, but then I'd think, oh, I can just take some out, and it didn't work that well. I did manage to save up some money, not the full amount, and part of the reason of that was that I actually went to America in April, and I went to LA, and I ended up buying a couple of, like, I call them little designer bags, because they're not spending $1,000 or $2,000, or I know you can spend a lot more, but not spending that much money on a bag. It was spending like $200, or yeah, I think my Rebecca Minkoff bag, the Cupid one that you guys saw, I ended up spending about $300 on that, and that was the most expensive. I also had a Kate Spade one, which I picked up in America, which was, I think everything that I purchased, the bag and earrings and jewelry and all this kind of stuff, was under $250. So the bag was probably under $200. And then I'd also had a little Rebecca Minkoff mini Mac in a particular color that I really liked, and that again was, I think, just under $200 as well. So I'd spent little bits of money, and that's why I hadn't been putting them away. And then my final bag purchase at the end of the year, if you did watch my What I Got for Christmas video, so this is kind of the fruits of the 52-week saving challenge. Even though I didn't save up and the full amount, I ended up spending it on other little things, which is okay too. I think the thing with saving and doing anything like that is that you have to allow yourself to break the rules a little bit and manipulate them to suit you. So the bag that I end up getting was the Philip Lim Mini Pashley. This is in, I think, a turquoise. Was it turquoise that the shade was called? It's in like a crushed kind of leather, and again, the main reason that I ended up purchasing this was because it was 40% off, which brought it into a price range that kind of fit within the savings challenge and the money that I had put away for that, even though it hadn't been the full amount. So that is the fruits of my saving, and I'm really happy with it. I would love to hear whether you guys sort of started the challenge. I know that some people were going to do different amounts depending on what they earned and what they could afford to do. Did you stick with it, and what did you do to manage to keep on track? Did you not stick with it like me? That's totally fine too. I'd love to hear your stories about that. As for 2015, goals for 2015. So since we've been talking about saving money and doing things like that, let's talk about my saving goal first. So this year I really want it to be a saving year. I spent a fair bit of money last year. I purchased a new car, which I partly got a loan for as well, but I put some money, some of my savings towards it. And then I also went to America, and I paid for that, and I paid for shopping, and I also paid partially for my mum to go. So that sort of took a significant chunk, most of my savings that I had. So this year I kind of want to build them back up again. I want to be a little bit more ruthless about it, and my goal, I guess, eventually is that I want to buy a house and move into the property market in some way, even if it's not to move out, maybe as a rental property or something like that. That is my goal sort of for the next few years, so I need to start making a significant savings for that. So my stretch target, since I'm going to start like talking as if I'm at work, but stretch target is to put away $1,000 20 weeks of the year. So basically that would be to save $20,000. Sounds like a lot, and it is, and like I said, it is going to be a stretch target. And the reason, or the way that I worked that out, was because I get paid fortnightly, and there are 26 fortnights in the year, and I decided that at least in 20 of them I wanted to try and put away $1,000 into my savings, which basically is putting away all my discretional income pretty much. So it's a significant amount, and it may be difficult given the reason I didn't say the whole 26 or anything like that is because I have things like car rego. When that comes around, that's over $1,000 there, so that week I might not be able to save because of that. We'll need to pay for that. I also have like Christmas and things like that at the end of the year. That makes it hard to put away money. I'm sure most of you are probably feeling it coming just out of Christmas. Things like my parents' birthdays, my sister's birthdays, friends' birthdays. I also have a couple of friends that are getting married this year, and if anybody is sort of going through friends getting married, you know that between the wedding gift and maybe the kitchen tea party gift and paying to go on the bachelorette party, whatever that is, these days they're like whole weekends, so they cost a lot of money. And accommodation if the wedding is not nearby, and all those things like that. Weddings for guests are freaking expensive. Like, I know they're expensive for the people that are actually getting married, but if you're attending a lot of weddings, the cost of them adds up quite a bit. So things like that I'm trying to take into account. I don't know whether I'll make the whole 20. If I make it to 15, then I will be happy, but my stretch target is 20. I'm going to buckle down. I need to not just spend on frivolous things. And I've already noticed my change in mentality. Like, even just shopping, I'm being at Priceline and sort of seeing something and thinking, usually I would just buy that, and I kind of stopped. I'm like, wait, Rachel, hold up. Do you really need it? Do you need it right now? If you really want it, can you wait until it goes on sale? Is there like, and I'm thinking about that more, and I think that that's a good mentality to have anyway, and it's something that I haven't always implemented. So that is my savings goal for this year. Who knows how it will go, but that's my savings goal. As for other just, I guess, life goals, I definitely do always try and have some kind of fitness goal. I definitely kind of slowed down my fitness stuff over Christmas and probably put on a bit of weight, and I always just want to lose those few Christmas kilos, just not necessarily because I have any visions of becoming super skinny or anything. I mean, it's not going to happen, but I just want to feel comfortable in my clothes and feel like I fit a size comfortably. I hate being in between sizes and things like that. So that's always a goal, and it's something that I'm definitely making strides towards. I go to boot camp a couple of nights a week, and on those nights that I don't go, I've been at least trying to work out on the treadmill for half an hour and doing some weights and things like that, just so I'm doing something on those other nights. And then on the weekend I'll try and go for a walk or do something active outdoors, and that's kind of my thing. Like I said, I'm not trying to run a marathon or anything like that, but I do want to be fit. For I guess a social goal for me, I do feel like I want to get out more and meet new people. Most of my friends are the same friends that I've had since high school, which is fantastic. I love that. I love that we have such a long shared history. But at the same time, I think that it's always good to go out and meet new people, and with that generally brings new experiences, new insights and things like that. So it's a goal for me because I do struggle to, I don't know, feel comfortable in social situations where I don't know a lot of people, or I feel kind of like the odd one out. And I always feel like the odd one out, even if I'm not. I always feel uncomfortable in anywhere where I don't usually go. So that's something that I definitely want to do. I want to kind of step out of my comfort zone and meet new people, and actually sort of make friends, people that I could call and go to the movies with, or things like that, just hang out. I think you can never have too many friends, can you? I don't think that that's possible. So that's definitely a goal for me. And aligned with that is sort of going to events that I wouldn't usually go to because I might feel uncomfortable, or saying yes to things that, again, I might not usually go to. It might be a party or something, and I don't know a lot of people that are going to be there, so I might not go, and instead I want to actually go and experience it. And I mean, half the time, a lot of those things that I am nervous and apprehensive about turn out to be fine and fun, and I have an awesome time. So I'm just trying to be conscious of that a little bit more, and actually make an effort to step out of the comfort zone. In that same way, I guess, I'm also trying to be conscious a little bit more and have a little bit more self-confidence in myself, whether that be in my personal life or in my work life or things like that. I tend to be my own worst enemy, and I've had people tell me this all the time, but I tend to hold myself back because I don't think that I'm good enough to do something. I don't see myself as, I think in some, I don't know, I do think I do hold myself back a bit because I don't feel good enough, or I have self-confidence issues, and I know that that's a problem, and it's something that I've had in the back of my mind to work on. But if any of you, I'm sure you've felt like this at some point, you know that even when you're aware of it, it's still hard to change it. So I don't know how I'll go, but it's something that I'm trying to be aware of. Other things, I feel like this is getting very philosophical. Are you guys still listening to me talk? If you are, there's another thing that I want to talk about, and I think it's something important to bring up, is looking at time and how you spend your time, and what aspects of your life are taking up the most time, and are you happy about that? I think it applies to everyone, and it can be about anything, but I'm really trying to make an effort to really look at how I'm spending my time, and do I feel like it's worthwhile? Like if you're spending a crazy amount of time at work and you don't even like what you do, is there a way that you can change that and take a step back and do something different? Something like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And I spend a lot of time, and YouTube is actually one of the things that takes up a lot of my time, and I have kind of made it a thing to look at that and maybe take a step back a bit, and not to move away from and stop doing YouTube, because I do enjoy it, but I've been doing YouTube and putting up videos almost as if it's my job. And I probably put up more videos than a lot of full-time YouTubers. For most of last year, I was putting up 3 videos a week. And I actually have a full-time job, one that takes up a lot of my time already, and YouTube isn't my job, and my channel isn't that big. And I know that that's something that I kind of talked about a bit in my Behind the Tube series. And if you guys are still interested in that, I will keep that up this year. There's other topics that I can talk about, but one of the things is that I know a lot of people have said to me, particularly over Vlogmas, that they like the fact that my channel is small and that I'm relatable and that I'm still just a normal person who happens to do YouTube, as opposed to some of the bigger YouTubers whose life definitely changes when they can make YouTube their full-time job and get all these amazing opportunities and things like that. So I can kind of see why having a smaller YouTube channel and why people would want their favorite YouTubers to have a smaller YouTube channel, but at the same time it makes it hard to justify dedicating so much time to YouTube when I really don't make any money off it, and it's not, I don't know, it's I've got to give time to other things. So I'm looking at, okay, I might cut down to 2 videos a week, and that's a goal for me, to try and spend more of my time doing other things rather than just going to work and sort of doing YouTube videos, trying to get out more, dedicating more time to fitness stuff, dedicating more time to spending time with friends or going out or things like that. So I think it's just, and it's going to be an ongoing process, but assessing how I'm spending my time and making sure that I'm doing things that I want to do for the right reasons and spending enough time of my life doing things that I want to do. So they are kind of my main goals for 2015. I'm not the greatest at goals. I find that while I truly believe in the power of goal setting, I myself am not great at setting goals and sticking to them and really committing. So I guess that's another goal, is to actually set goals and to commit to them. But yeah, so that is my 52-week saving challenge update and some goals for 2015. I would love it if you guys could share with me some of the things that you're striving for in 2015, whether it be a savings goal or something else. I want to know about it, because maybe it will help me set my own goals, and I feel like it brings us all together when you talk about these things that you want to achieve, and it kind of holds you a bit more accountable for them by saying them out loud, or in your case, writing them in a comment to me so I can read them. But I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, I'm going to go. I hope you guys are all having an awesome day, and I'll talk to you all next time. Bye!